Hi everyone, welcome into this week's edition of the Coach O Show, giving you an inside look at Wildcat football. Ryan Beckman alongside Wildcat head football coach Chris Ostrowski. Coming up on this week's show, we take a look back at the game against Ohio Dominican. We'll get highlights and coaches' thoughts. We'll hear from sophomore linebacker James Brown, a look ahead to the matchup with Hillsdale coming up on Saturday. But Coach, let's talk about the Ohio Dominican game first of all. A 38-28 loss to the Panthers on Saturday, and the word last week we used to describe them was a very sound football team, and they were, but a good battle from your team too.
You know, I thought they were really solid. I thought they came out ready to go. That opening drive was very impressive to start the game. Loved the way our players fought, especially late in the game, and the way we responded to halftime, and then consequently the product that we became as the game progressed. At the end of the day, you got to win games. You got to find a way to win the game, and we didn't do that. But for sure, I thought it was a really good college football game.
Talk about their drive, their first drive of the game being impressive. You guys put together a few impressive drives yourself, 9-10 play drives and 4 or 5 minutes off the clock as well.
Yeah, you know, I think offensively we've created a calm, if you will, with understanding on how the pieces fit. I think Shea Brown does a tremendous job. I think our offensive line continues to get better as they continue to grow older, if you will. Just an impressive group of guys. Our perimeter players are getting better. And then, you know, Jake Mayon, and Aaron Harris comes in and does a great job. So I thought we were multiple. I thought we executed. I thought we were pretty good at times, for sure.
You mentioned Jake Mayon, 3 rushing touchdowns in the ball game, brings his total now to 11 on the season. First Wildcat running back and double-digit rushing touchdowns since '09. So a fantastic year, another fantastic game for him.
Yeah, you know, he's you know, I think he's got about 700 yards and change. So we're excited to see him finish the year strong, and you know, Aaron factors in to that mix as well, and they're 2 really good young men that we worked hard to get here, and they're doing a good job for us offensively.
What were your takeaways from your defense on Saturday against Ohio?
Yeah, you know, I think defensively that we really fought in the second half, which was great to see. I thought our young guys all guys played with unbelievable effort late in the game. You know, I told you Austin McCarthy, and we'll look at it a little bit here on video, made a phenomenal play to save a touchdown, and Jalen Saunders, who made a great pick on a slant. You know, I just thought they really battled hard. You know, with that being said, you got to deal in reality. You got to be better on third down. You got to get them off the field. I think that's critical. I thought their quarterback was really good, and you know, you got to do some certain things on third down to get them off the field, and we weren't able to do that.
How about your punter, real quickly here, John Kuzinski? I think 48 yards average on a couple of punts in the game.
Yeah, I think we punted 2 times, and John continues to progress as a freshman.
Absolutely. And what have you seen from him consistency-wise this year?
From John?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, John's a good player. John's a good player, and he works very hard at it at practice, and he'll get mature, more mature as he grows, and he's progressing nicely for us.
All right, thanks, Coach. We'll take a break. We'll hear from sophomore linebacker James Brown right after this.
The Coach O Show is sponsored by
Welcome back to the Coach O Show. Our guest this week is sophomore linebacker for the Wildcats, James Brown. And James, nice to have you on the program.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk first of all, a UP kid from Menominee. What does it mean to you to be playing for Northern Michigan?
Well, it definitely means a lot to me to be playing for, you know, a local program for me. You know, growing up, I'd always hear, you know, Northern Michigan. You know, it's a very prestigious program in my eyes. And, you know, you look at the roster, you see kids from Florida, you see kids from California. And I take a lot of pride in, you know, being a local kid, you know, being able to be on the team and, you know, contribute to the overall picture.
How much growing up did you get to the Dome, or how much did you get to see the Dome growing up?
Well, actually, my team has Marquette in the division, so I was up here at least, you know, 2 times a year to compete. And, you know, you drive by that dome every time, and you always think, you know, as a kid, like, wow, you know, like, that's a big time right there. And then, my junior year and senior year, we actually got to play because that's where our semifinal games held. And, once you play in there, you realize that it's nothing. It's undescribable.
It's a heck of a place to play, no question about that, especially when it's rocking here. Let's talk about your career now, your sophomore season with the Wildcats. So what has that journey been like for you starting out, as your freshman year and then progressing this year? What have you taken away so far?
Well, coming in as a freshman, it's a big step. A senior in high school, you think you kind of know it all, and then you come to college and the coaches are like, yeah, you don't really know it all. So that was a big adjustment for me. And then, but once you take that in and start to embrace it, you actually learn a lot. And we have really good coaches who, they know a lot, so much more. And when you can take that all in, it really helps you progress forward.
We talk about learning the game in a very veteran group at linebacker where you play. What have you learned from the group of guys that you play with?
Well, a lot of what I've learned so far is responsibility, and that's on and off the field. I look to DJ Williams, Matt Boonstra right now. Those are guys who, they're always on time. They're always putting in the extra work. In practice, they're always working on the little things. And, when you can kind of follow them and have those leaders ahead of you, it really makes you want to grow as a player by yourself. And
Sure. What's your major and why did you choose that?
My major is actually sports science. I chose it because I like to keep in the sport industry when I get out of college. So keeping sports close to me is a big part of that decision. Very
cool. Talk a little about this week's games. You guys get set for Hillsdale, second game of a 3-game homestand. Some of the keys for the Wildcats this weekend.
This week, we're definitely going to focus on execution. That's going to be a big part of our game plan this week.
And now let's go back a little bit. You talked about playing in the Dome. Now that you're playing in it for Northern, how has that changed versus when you played it in high school?
It feels a lot more like home now. Yeah. You kind of don't get the big awe anymore. It feels more like this is my home, whereas before it was just it's the Dome, it's just like a big venue.
Sounds good. James, appreciate it.
Thanks.
You bet. We'll take a break. Look at the highlights next here on the Coach O Show.
The Coach O Show is sponsored by
Back here on the Coach O Show, time to take a look at highlights from the Wildcats game against Ohio Dominican. Nearly 400 yards of offense for the Wildcats on Saturday and 28 points. Some key plays for sure. So let's take a look at the offensive side, Coach.
Yeah, like I said, a really good football team. I've won a lot of games in this league over the last 4 or 5 years. I think they went into the game averaging about 20 points a game is what they gave up. So, we felt like we needed to be in a situation where we were going to do better than their average going in. And our guys just kind of executed and followed the plan. And, mostly the things we talk about here is showcasing our players, but it's their effort. It's the way they go about playing. This is late in the game. Third quarter, second half, and guys just playing really hard. And for me, that's what this thing's about. How hard are they willing to play on a play-to-play basis? Are they, the new coaching word is strain. Are they straining every play? And our guys were committed. We challenged them at halftime, and they came out and fought hard. And that tells me that we're in the right direction. This is Jake Mayon again, but it's more than just Jake Mayon. It's, as we go back here, it's up front doing a great job with Anthony Herbert in the kick, which is our left guard right there. It's blocking down with a little physicality with everyone else. It's our receivers blocking downfield, and then it's Jake hitting it, and then making that initial contact and then running through it. Just great job getting another 5-6 yards just in base effort. He, from where he was initially contacted to where he finished was about 7 yards from the initial spot. So just so proud of that kid as well. As we roll here through the next play, we get ourselves in a situation where we're trying to work a little perimeter stuff. And again, we talk about understanding the importance of blocking on the perimeter. And we do that Trevante Lewis, the converted quarterback, right, does a great job playing with a little physicality. You know, what you talk about in your locker room is your philosophy, right? But who you are on film is your identity, and we talk about that all the time. And you know, our issue, if we could deal in negative for a second, is we have to play this way for 4 quarters, and if we do that, we'll be a really special football team. So it's just creating the consistency, and then a great player making a great play on a spin move there, Walter Jackson, who kind of leans and does a spin, and then we're able to make a good player miss and create another 7-8 yards after the initial deal there in terms of contact. Finishing up the deal here, and you know, watching us play for the last couple of years. Obviously, Shea Brown has become a really tremendous player and a great passer, and he does a great job here, seeing a vertical and hitting it. And Julian does a great job. But again, it's about the protection, it's about the play fake, it's about the whole package, and just good football play for us in a hurry.
Yeah, 66th touchdown pass for Shea Brown, and Julian Crum with his 2nd touchdown of the season.
Yeah.
18 receptions over the last couple of weeks for Julian Crum. What have you seen from him this season?
You know, I told him after the game, I told him on Sunday's practice actually how proud I was of the way he has matured and progressed in the program. He's just a great kid to be around, and that's really for me the thing is Arby creating an atmosphere where the student athlete is creating memorable moments, and you know, Julian's just so part of the culture and so part of the fiber of the program, and now to see him excelling on the field is perfect.
Absolutely. We'll take a break. Defensive highlights next, right here on the Coach O Show.
The Coach O Show is sponsored by
Continuing on the Coach O Show tonight, taking a look at highlights from the Wildcats game against Ohio Dominican. We turn our attention to the defensive side. And Coach, if there's a theme with the defensive highlights tonight, it's effort plays for the Wildcats on Saturday.
You know, it's exactly right. Yeah, when you got guys that are playing with great effort, that's half the battle. And just so proud of the way our players played, especially late in the game. And this is a critical play here for us in regards for our program. You know, we obviously get gashed here for a little bit, and now, you know, that kid is gone. I mean, that kid is gone, and our defensive end from the other side, Austin McCarthy, and we point this out to the guys, and we showed the whole team this play. Just made an unbelievable effort play, chasing this thing down, and does a tremendous job, completely selling out, completely risking his body and playing with reckless abandon that are so important in the game of football, and that was a critical moment. I think from then on, you could see the defense really just played all of a sudden with a little bit of an edge, a little bit of chip on their shoulder as we go, and you could see him from the back. And shoot, I said this, if they race to the goal line, I think Austin beats them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Austin beats him if he just keeps running, which is unbelievable for a young man that size. Another great kid that it's so great to see him evolving as a player. Young guy, sophomore, is going to continue to grow as well in the program. We get this play here, and this was a great one here for us too. We know how important it is to score in the red zone. Consequently, you got to be judged on are you stopping guys in the red zone. And this was a great play. I thought we pursued to the ball, but Jerry Vuxen, who's a Gladstone kid, local kid, just does a great job here with a little bit of passion, energy. Dealt with some adversity the week before, and you can just tell he's pouring his heart out on the field, and you got to love it. You got to love the kid's energy and his want to as we move along here. Another critical moment in the game, we get ourselves in a situation with a young man out on an island, and he just took the slant away. I mean, jumped the slant, took it away, wanted it more than he did. Jalen Saunders and another sophomore who's going to continue to grow. So great couple plays there, and you're right, all about effort, and it was good. Those were good stops for us.
Talk a little about Jalen Saunders a little bit more. Guy kind of pressed into duty just a little bit on Saturday, but made the play for sure.
Yeah, no question. You know, we had some injury and things, and then we kind of gave up a big play and put Jalen in, and he just shined. And he's a kid that believes in what we're trying to get done, and played as a true freshman, and he'll continue to get better every single day.
How about the guy we talked to a little bit earlier on the program tonight, James Brown, the Menominee kid, and you talk about effort. There's a guy that brings effort and hustle.
Yeah, oh boy, he brings effort. You know, he says to me, Coach, I got your back, Coach. I won't let you down today. He's that kid, and you know, he plays from that program in Menominee. Just builds champions every single year, and you know, they understand that what commitment and sacrifice and all the things you need to do to win. So James is going to be a great player here at Northern, and he's got a long way to go too.
Yeah, strong linebacking group this year for you guys, and young guys too.
Yeah, they'll all be back except Booney, so it's exciting to see that group continue to progress.
Absolutely. All right, we'll take a break here on the Coach O Show. When we come back, we'll look ahead to the Wildcats game against the Hillsdale Chargers this coming Saturday at the Superior Dome. That's next here on the Coach O Show.
The Coach O Show is sponsored by
Back here at the Coach O Show as we head to the final segment tonight. Wildcats hosting the Hillsdale Chargers coming up on Saturday at the Dome. We'll talk about the Chargers here in just a moment, Coach, but I want to talk about a conversation you and I had earlier this week and how strong this conference is in the GLIAC. 4 teams right now in the top 25, and the opponent you just played, Ohio Dominican, could be knocking on the door of that top 25 by the end of the year.
Yeah, you know, you know, not being from the region, right, being from the Northeast, and you know, it's all about you know, 1A football and then the old 1AA, which is FCS football now. You don't kind of put into terms this league. This league is a bona fide, for lack of better words, 1AA football league. 4 teams are in the top 20 in the nation in this league. It's amazing, all the great players and coaches, and you know, and I don't know this, you know, I don't know about the ACC, and I know they've got a couple in the SEC, but that 4 in the top 20, I gotta think there's not a league in the country that right now has 4. I don't think the Big Ten does. You know, I'd have to look.
Sure. Absolutely, and it's a heck of a conference. Another good opponent coming in on Saturday, the Hillsdale Chargers. Let's talk about them offensively. A very balanced team. GLIAC Freshman of the Year last year, running back, and a Division I transfer at quarterback.
Yeah, you know, I think they're a good football team. I think they have a blueprint and how they do things, and you know, I like those guys there. They're a first-class outfit. They do it the right way, and you know, like always, this week's more about us than anything else. Let's play 4 complete quarters. Do things the Wildcat way, and you know, I think if we do that, we'll give ourselves a great chance to win.
You said earlier this week, getting off to a fast start is going to be huge for you guys.
Yeah, you know, I think getting off to a quick start at home is huge. It's critical, and we're working really hard to emphasize the things we need to do to win.
How about the Hillsdale defense? What stands out to you when you get ready to prepare?
You know, they're solid. They're solid. And they tackle, and they, you know, I think they're a tough group of kids, and I think they know their scheme and know how to fit, and I think that's important for defense.
All right, Coach. Let's talk about this. Kind of get in mind of Coach a little bit here. After a game, you get the box score. You look at the stats. What's the first stat that you're looking at after a game?
You know, that's an unfair question.
Yeah.
As an ex-quarterback guy, and then an ex-quarterback coach who then became an offensive coordinator, now a head coach, I look and see our quarterback's efficiency, which is probably not the you know, it's evolved to now third down efficiency, time of possession. You know, I look at all of it.
Sure.
But you asked me what I look at first.
Sure, right.
And I want to make sure we were efficient in the pass game.
All right, there you go. So, Wildcats getting set for the Chargers. Second game of a 3-game homestand. I'm sure you guys looking forward to being at home once again.
Go Cats.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it. Best of luck. That's going to wrap it up for this week's edition of the Coach O Show. Join us next week when we'll recap the Hillsdale game. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. So long.
The Coach O Show is sponsored by